Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast slash YouTube video. Hey, all this technology and everything that's going on. But listen, thank you for just tuning in to If Has Power. Now, you know why I named it that, If Has Power, because you know what? We can decide, we can make choices all day long. But if we don't take action, nothing's going to take place. I'm telling you. So I want you to realize this. What you're getting ready to hear is going to be something a little bit different than just an average discussion, because we have a special, awesome young lady that's going to talk to you about her book with an S. Okay. So please just give her your undivided attention. We're not going to be on here a long time, but the thing is, it's a message that we have to, we really want to give out. So on that note, I want you all to give a warm welcome to Miss Jacquelyn Smith. She's an author and she is a woman of God. Hello, Jacquelyn.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
All right. Thank you for being on. Thank you so much. Now, Jacquelyn, what I first of all would like to for you to do is basically, I have some questions that I want to ask you, okay? And it won't be like a test or anything, but it's just some things I want to know, because I was really blessed to read Save for Ben. And people are in for a treat to hear about this. So what I want you to do is just give a little overview of yourself before you get into your book series. Just tell us about you.
Okay, again, my name is Jacquelyn Smith. I was born in a small town called Butler, Georgia. After graduating from high school, I went to Florida A&M University. And when I graduated from Florida A&M with my degree, I was commissioned in the United States Navy. So I went straight into the Navy, and it was great. It really was great. It was what I needed and everything. I spent 20 years serving the military and everything. And so it was, I'm not one of those people that went to foreign lands and went everywhere. I stayed in 2 or 3 places.
That's what a lot of people think, with the Navy, you
I
just go all these
know.
places and everything.
Not me. I was basically on the East Coast, but it was what I needed. And 19 years ago, I retired from the Navy, and then now I currently work as an energy manager here in Pensacola, Florida, at the Escambia County School District. I'm an active member of my church. I've been married now for 30, losing track. It's been let's see, it's been 37 years.
Okay.
And I have a son, a 19-year-old son. He's in college. And like I said, I'm active in my church as far as Sunday school, Bible study, plays, all of our programs on with the Christian Education Ministry. So anything that's done seems like I'm involved in it and everything, but it keeps me busy and I love it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now, I asked you to be on this show because of your book series. Okay. Now, you guys, I want y'all to know this. All right. This is a shame to say, but I do other things, but this was something so interesting. The last time I read a book series was Nancy Drew. Okay. So, that, well, you young ones, y'all don't know about that. Okay.
No, we don't know that.
But anyway, listen, what I want, Jacquelyn, I would just like for you to do is tell us about your book series.
Okay, great. The title of my book is Saved for Ben. And so that is also the book series. So, of course, book one is Saved for Ben. Ben is a 15-year-old Black teenager in a small town in Georgia. And he has a younger brother and sister, and his mother has been widowed for 5 years. So at 15, his mother works at a textile plant. And so, of course, this is 1972. 1972 is the time when in Georgia, the schools were integrated. So you had the Black schools and your white schools, but in 1972, that was when it was mandatory that all schools integrate. So there was a lot of racial tension in the South, in Georgia at that time and everything. So here in a small town, the racial tensions are even higher just because it is a small town, and you're changing the way of life because you're putting something that people don't want to change.
Mhm.
So, but he's 15 and he tells his mother that he wants to help find a job. Now, of course, his mother is struggling trying to raise three children on her own and everything. And she tells him, "You have my blessing if you can, but we live in a small town where racial tensions are high. If you can
Right.
find a job that meets my stipulations, you have my blessings." And of
Mhm.
course, there was a time, he was struggling trying to find a job, but he does. God blesses him to find a job at a golf shop with a man named Mr. Kaysen. Mr.
Mhm.
Kaysen is 80 years old. And at 80, he needs some help. He's been widowed for 20 years. He's angry, he's lonely, he's sad, and so where Ben is full of life. So book one is the relationship that Ben and Mr. Kaysen formed during his high school years.
Yes, 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 yes. I was gonna say, I didn't want you to tell too much now because I'm
I know, I know. I had to stop it.
because it is good. It's really good. It'll get you hooked. Now you know how they be doing on Netflix, you guys. Okay, well, this here's something that's gonna hook you. Really, I know.
Yes.
Now this is a few other little questions I have for you. So they know. And how many books are in the series so far?
Currently, there are four. There are
Four.
four in the
Okay.
series. They have been published. So
Okay,
four
that's
books have been published.
okay. Okay. All right. Now, the first question I want to ask you is this.
Mhm.
What's special about your books? Now, I already know what's special to me. Okay. But what's special that you want the audience to know about your books?
Okay. My books, they provide a foundation of dealing with life issues for most readers that don't have that foundation. I mean, and when I say that foundation is Christ. How to deal with your problems, living a faith-filled life.
Mm-hmm.
The same issues that everybody has, Christians have those same issues, whether it's lack or whether it's discrimination, whether it's loss, whether it's an unexpected trial, but it's how you deal with the situation.
That's
And
right.
unfortunately, a lot of things going on in the world, whether it's TV, movies, or news or whatever, you don't see people dealing with these problems in the way that they should.
Right.
And so therefore, some of our youth and some of our old, even for some of our young adults, don't know how to
Right.
deal with those problems.
Right.
And so my book shines a light on dealing with problems in a faith-filled manner.
Yes,
And
it
it's
does.
also is just good, wholesome reading.
It is. It really is.
A lot of times, when we look at TV, sometimes, we have to protect our eye gates and our ear gates from some of those things that are out there in the world and everything. My books, they give you good, wholesome
Wholesome.
reading.
Yes. Yes.
But then people say, well, isn't that boring? No,
No.
it's not boring at all, at all.
I'm
You can
answering
live
that
a wholesome
question.
life. You can live a wholesome life and still your life is not boring at all and
That's
everything.
right. That's right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
my books, they provide nuggets of wisdom. And these nuggets of wisdom and life lessons and guiding principles, I'm not beating you over the head with a Bible, but it's just in your everyday life, showing you examples of how to deal with things, how to think about something in a better way.
That's
Instead of
right.
looking for the negative, look for the positive.
That's
This
right.
glass is not half empty, it's half full.
Right. You know what? Another thing, Jacquelyn, and I try to make sure I remind people of this. Whether I'm on TikTok or giving
Mhm.
little sound bites of wisdom. Um, we have so many voices that come into our head. So the thing is
Yes.
that if we feed our minds, and what we hear with positive reinforcement, that's what's
Mhm.
going to come out of us. You see what I'm talking
Yes,
about? Because
it is.
whatever you just put into your eye gates and your ear
Mhm.
gates and everything like that. And then, some people may say, "Oh, I don't do that. This is the world we get." No,
I know.
we have to be intentional. You
We
see,
do.
we have to be intentional. So I
Mhm.
definitely agree with you. As far as why those books are so special, because, and also what it does is that for each book, at the end of each book, it makes you
Mhm.
want to know what's in the next book. Okay,
Yes.
I'm waiting for
Yes.
it. So anyway, let me ask you this. this is something that's very important. How many more books in this series do you expect to write?
That's a great question. Initially when God gave me the series, at first I thought it was one book. I did think it was one book. I
Hmm.
woke up one morning and God had downloaded this book in my head. I'm like, there's a book in my head. There's a book in my head. So finally, when I sat down to start to write, I sat down to start to write January the 15th of
Uh-huh.
last year, which was 2022. When I stopped writing, it was April
Uh-huh.
the 10th. So it had barely been through 3.5 months, I had written 4 books. And I'm like, oh my God, so I
Wow.
knew that it was bigger than Pensacola, so I needed to get me a publisher and get it out there and everything,
Right, right.
And so, but I've already written book 5 and I've already written book 6. So
Okay.
book 7 is working around up there in my head somewhere. So I
Okay.
had thought that maybe 7 books in the series was a good number. I
Okay.
don't want to inundate my readers and say, oh my gosh, she's still talking about Ben, and everything. But, these books, another different thing about my books is they follow a real timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I started in August of 1972 and book 4 ends December 1982. So that's 10 years in 4 books and everything. So I can keep going because Ben's still alive, so I can keep going and everything. But in my head right now, I'm thinking 7 may
Yeah.
be
And I
my
and I,
stopping
I
point.
love the number 7 because it's always
I know.
completion to me. It's
Yes, yes,
completion,
yes, 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 yes,
You
yes.
you guys, I want to tell you, audience, I want to tell you this. This is a smart lady right here. I'm telling you something. Now, there's something else in these books, but I'm gonna let you find that out for yourself, okay? Because when you start reading it, you're gonna have your pencil ready, your pencil,
Yes,
and you're gonna have that ready. And there's
yes,
something else that you're gonna have ready too. I'm telling you something, but you're gonna learn a lot. And see,
yes.
Jacqueline, for me now, this is my perspective for one thing. I was born up north. I
Mhm.
graduated high school 1970, but I was up
Okay.
in New Jersey. So a lot of things I learned as I was reading this series so
Ah,
far. So
mhm.
it was a different perspective. And so
Yes, that
it,
north and south, it
yeah,
was it was
it was
different.
altogether different. So
Mhm.
I have another question. Okay. So Jacqueline, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? In 5 years, 10 years, you have any goals set so far, what you might do?
Yes, yes, I do. Okay.
All right then.
We'll talk about 5 years first. Okay,
Okay.
5 years. Of course, I hope to publish the next 3 books, 5, 6, and 7 soon. I hope to
Okay.
publish those soon and everything. So that's within the 5 years. But I would also like to see my books in different languages.
Mm,
So I am open to that. Because um, we have the same problems all over the United States, no matter what color our skin is,
that's
no matter
right.
what language we speak and everything. So I do believe that my books can do some good, not just here in the United States, but in other countries too. So I
Yes.
would love to have them in different languages. I would love to see my books. At one time, I thought I wanted to see them on the big screen as far as a movie. But then, the more and more I've thought about it, I'm not sure if a movie is for my books because
Okay.
there's so much in my books. I don't want it watered down and
Right. That's
trying
right.
to squeeze into an hour and 30 minutes, and then you miss the gist of the book,
But don't forget about something, Jacqueline.
Hmm.
What I mentioned earlier.
The
The
Netflix,
way it is, they got series just like your books.
yes. So
See,
I'm more interested in a series than I am in just one
one
movie,
big.
oh, say for beings.
That's right.
Yes. So I'm interested in a
God has a
series.
way. He has a way.
Yes, he does.
So
And I'm learning that too. My challenge for me this year is to think bigger,
yeah.
to not confine my God into such a small space and everything, thinking that, oh no, that can't happen to me.
Right.
Oh, yes, it can. Yes,
That's
it
right.
can. It
Yes.
can
Yes.
happen to me because I didn't think that I could write 4 books,
See.
and get them published. and everything, but yet they're out there. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to limit my God. I'm
That's
going to
right.
try to be open to bigger things, So in the first 5 years, other languages and possibly on some type of screen, for a series. Yes.
That's right. Very, very good. Very good. And then the last question, I think, yeah, what? Oh, two more questions. Okay. Even though the time period is different, okay.
Yes.
What are the things that still hold true today?
You know what? That's a great question. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
So, but the same problems that we have here in 2023, people were going through in 1972. They were going through in 1970. They were going through in 1984. So it again is how you deal with the problem.
Right.
How you deal with the problem.
Yeah.
So even though the time period is different, it is based on us going back to a simpler time and educating you on what life can still be like. Just because we have all this noise going on around us don't mean that we have to be distracted by the noise. We can make people say, well, Jackie, you're too sheltered. I'm sheltered for a reason, because a lot of stuff is not out there for me. And I want my readers to know that you can choose where your life, your circle is. You don't have to be out there with all of the crime and the bad choices that some people make. You can choose to do better. You can.
Because see, a lot of people, they have, a lot of people think, well, okay, some people may have a sheltered background, because I've been told that so many times and everything. So, but the thing is, though, no matter what has happened to you in the past, because nobody knows what family they're going to be born into.
True.
Okay. But when you get to a certain age, if you start thinking and feeding yourself with, positivity, you can say, you know what, life can be better, depending on the choices. But if you don't have no exposure to anything better, you're going to deal with, that's all you know. That's all you know. That's all you know.
And that's what, I want to show people it can be different. And it's based on the choices that you make.
That's right.
So that it can be different.
Yeah. And that's what I want you to know. I got that out of that. I really
did.
Good. Yes, I said. And that's why I asked that question about the time period, because I knew what the common thread was, really. What's the underlying message and everything. Now, the other thing is, see your book in different. Okay. So, before I ask you about how they can contact you and everything, is there anything else that you would like, while we have this platform now, that is the essence of something that you really just want to get out for them to know,
Yes, thank you. A lot of people say, well, I'm not a reader. I'm not a reader, so I buy a book and I don't read it. I'm asking you to give just book one a chance. It's an easy read. But like Cheryl said, that I'm hoping that it will hook you, that you will be wanting to go find book 2 and book 3 and book 4, so but just give me a chance with book 1. It's approximately 100 and some pages, so it's
an easy read, you guys.
It's an easy read and everything. But God has blessed me that I was able to develop those characters to the point where you think of them as your friends, as your family and everything, that you're concerned about them, so you want to go on. And reading is one way, that a simple way that you grow. That you grow. It keeps your mind active. It expands your vocabulary. It expands your way of thinking. So,
Jackie,
go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Since you said it now, you guys, the audience, I'm gonna tell you now, right now. Okay. I went and got my master's degree and all this. It's not about all that kind of stuff like that, but I want to tell you this. When I started that book series, I said, oh no, because there's a character in there that's going to keep you on point with your words. You're going to know it. And it doesn't mean, don't feel like you're silly or anything or stupid.
No.
Because some of the family members don't know what it is either. So the thing is, when you write that word down and everything, you're gonna learn some stuff. Okay, you're gonna learn some stuff. So I appreciate that, Jack.
You know, one of my friends challenged me because at first, when I first wrote the books, at least I was thinking that my audience would be middle and high schoolers. That's what I was thinking. And so because it's middle and high schoolers, I wanted to help them with their SAT words.
Yeah.
So I Googled the top 100 SAT words, the most common SAT words. And so that's why there's a common thread that they're in every book. So that when you look up that word that first time, when you see it the next time, you're like, okay, so the reader is learning that word. So when it comes SAT time, they like, oh, I know what that means. I know what that means. I've seen that used so many times, you know, and but it's a good learning. Like I said, I'm not beating you over the head with a dictionary, but every now and then one will pop up, and but take the time. And even if you don't look it up, somebody in the book will say what that means.
And they're going to take and listen, I want to tell everybody this too. You know, depending on where you are in life, what age you are that you're listening to this video and everything like that there, this here, when you be saying, I don't know what to get my aunt such and such or whatever, let me tell you something. They will love you for giving them the series as a gift, because see, they can go back and they can relax and they can just simplicity. It's amazing. It's peaceful.
It is.
I'm saying, you know, I'm feeling this thing now, you know.
You know, I have an uncle, he's 80 years old, and he called me crying. He said, your books have taken me back. He said, it's brought up some memories that I had forgotten about, you know, during the 70s and during the 80s and everything. He said, oh my God, he said, I appreciate it so much. I said, good.
So Jackie, what I want to do now is just ask you, how do people contact you and everything? And I will have it listed underneath everything like that there, but I want you to just go ahead and say it so somebody can write it down or whatever, you know. So.
Okay, great. I do have a website, so you can contact me through the website, and you can also look at all 4 of the books. There's some excerpts that you can read. Oh, and I have a book trailer out now, and it's on the website. So book trailer, something like a movie trailer that the characters come to life and everything. But my website is www.jacquelynbsmith.com. So you can see my name is spelled just a little differently. So you have to spell it JacquelynBSmith.com.
Jacquelyn, I just want to tell you, it's been a joy to just interview you. And because I've already read the books and enjoyed them so much, that's why I had this, you know, exuberance and this feeling. And you know, people can almost pretty much tell, Cheryl really enjoyed those books and everything. So, you know, and so like I said, the last book series, you know, as y'all know what I said in the very beginning, was Nancy Drew. So, and you know, that was, hey, I'm 70 now. So, you know, it's been a long time. So I really, really enjoyed you. Just thank you so much for just being here, you know, and just talking about Save for Ben. And you guys, you got a lot to look forward to. So before we close, I just wanted to say this to everybody. If you don't mind, pass this here YouTube / podcast around to everybody that you can think of. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe for me. Now, I know I'm not going to have all them million followers and stuff like that, but we're just trying to get the message out. You know, we're just women just trying to get the message out. Okay, so if you just do that, just hit the like button for me and the subscribe button. And I'm going to try to come up with some very you know, interesting, and it's going to be stuff that I do is faith-based, okay, you know, because I'm doing this for the kingdom, okay, because really Jacquelyn and I both know that's the only way to really live.
Amen.
I mean, for an abundant life here. And, you know, not to bring nobody down, but there's a lot of people leaving here. There's a lot of people leaving. And so People got to know where you're going to spend eternity. So we try to make
Amen.
this life enjoyable and everything. Any closing words, anything, Jacquelyn, before we go?
Yes, yes. My books are available on Amazon.com. So
Okay.
if you don't want to go to the website, you can always go to Amazon and you can type in saved for being, or you can put in my name and all 4 books will come up and everything, so please check them out.
Jacquelyn, you've been a pleasure, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining in today and
Thank you.
just telling us about Save for Ben. You be blessed,
Mhm.
okay?
All right.